Propaganda advertised trenches as being organized, clean, and relaxed. Reality is that conditions were not good and everyone was constantly on edge. Trenches were very makeshift. Many soldiers suffered from trench foot because of the muddy and mucky conditions in the trenches. Living conditions were bad for health as well as morale. It was wet, dirty, and cold. Many soldiers got physically and mentally sick. They suffered from shell shock and PTSD. R. Derby Holmes was an American serving as a corporal of the 22nd London Battalion of the Queen's Royal West Surrey Regiment. I sat down with him to see what his experience was in the trenches during World War I.
We first started in the communication trench. I remember there being knee-deep mud, the smell of dead people because of the bodies that are buried in the trench. The trench was so small that barely 2 men could walk passing. After passing through the communication trench that was 2 miles long, we arrived to mechanics. The trenches had names, like a street. Then into the first line trench. At first, it wasn't what I expected. It was quiet with sleeping men. The sergeant major appeared and said, "Keep your nappers down, you rooks. Don't look over the top." I was assigned to platoon 10. My dugout was built for 4, but slept 10. It had no floor, just muck, dirty straw, and a lot of moldy sandbags. The worst feature of these billets was the rats. They were the biggest I ever saw. Great, filthy, evil-smelling, grayish-red fellas, as big as a good-sized cat. They would hop out of the walls and scuttle across your face with their wet, cold feet, and it was enough to drive you insane. One chap in our party had a natural horror of rats, and he nearly went crazy. We had to kip with our greatcoats pulled up over our heads, and then the beggars would go down and nibble at our boots.
Born in 1883 at High Wycombe in Buckinghamshire, Coningsby was to graduate from Merton College, Oxford in 1905. He took a theological course for a year, but decided his life was to be that of a writer.
During my time in World War I did some writing because I'm a writer. And I wrote some poems that really convey the experience that not only I had, but also other men had. This one is titled, "To You at Home." Each night we panted till the runners came, bearing your letters through the battle smoke. Their path lay up Death Valley, spouting flame. Across the ridge where the Huns' anger spoke, and bursting shells and cataracts of pain. Then down the road where no one goes by day, and so into the tortured, pockmarked plain, where dead men clasp their wounds and point the way. Here gas lurks treacherously and the wire of old defenses tangled up the feet. Faces and hands strain upward through the mire, speaking the anguish of the Huns' retreat. Sometimes no letters came. The evening hate dragged on till dawn. The ridge and flying spray of hissing shrapnel told the runner's fate. We know we should not fear from you that day, from you, who from the trenches of the mind hurl back despair, smiling with sobbing breath, writing your souls on paper to be kind, that you, for us, may take the sting of death. This poem I wrote more directly about my experience in the trenches. It's something not easy for me to talk about. This is my poem, "The Glory of the Trenches." We were too proud to live for years when our poor death could dry the tears of little children yet unborn. It scarcely mattered then at morn, when manhood's hope was at its height, we stopped a bullet in mid-flight. It did not trouble us to lie, forgotten 'neath the forgetting sky. So long sleep was our only cure, that when death piped of rest made sure, we cast our fleshly crutches down, laughing like boys in Hamlin town. And this we did while loving life, yet loving more than home or wife, the kindness of a world set free for countless children yet to be.